Hey everyone, what's up? It's Chris, welcome back. Going to be playing more Modern today. This time it is almost mono blue, taking turns, which is the first time I've ever played this deck, although I've liked the look of it for a little while. So you'll have to forgive the frequency of my goofs, they'll be even more common than normal. So basically this is there's a well-known turns player called Daniel Wong, who you may know as the guy who has like a quad-sleeved deck that's about this tall and this wide, and he always does well in North American Modern GPs with it. I think he's top 8 at a couple and top 16 at a couple more, and he's very synonymous with the deck. So this is his deck from GP Dallas earlier this year, other than I've added some Mystic Sanctuaries, and I've updated the sideboard a little bit with some mystical disputes. So the intention is to take a lot of turns if you're not familiar with the deck. So you buy time, pardon me, you buy time with cards like Remand, Boomerang, Exhaustion, Giga Drowse, all these different tools for frustrating and slowing down your opponent, Lightning Bolt as well. And you try to have a Howling Mine effect in play, be it literal Howling Mine or Dictate of Crucifix is slightly preferable because it has flash. So you play it on your opponent's end step and you get the first draw. So it's a little bit better for you. It's sort of one-sided. And the idea is that these effects benefit you more than your opponents because you have more turns than your opponent, so you have more extra draw steps. So your Dictate might draw you 5 cards and your opponent 2, and isn't that good? Is basically the thinking. So as I said, I've not played the deck before. I'm probably going to be somewhere between embarrassing and tragic, but I do my best. I never claim to be anything more than a scrub. With that said, we're going to play some games. We're going to learn how the deck works. I like the idea of using Mystic Sanctuary with Time Warp. That was why I chose to play this deck. Or even better, with Temporal Mastery, which is why there's fully 3 Temporal Masteries in this deck. Like, can you even imagine how disgusting that is? Actually, let me check. I might have already goofed. Yeah, Temporal Mastery exiles itself, so you can only do that if it ends up in your graveyard for reasons other than resolving. Well, it wouldn't end up in your graveyard for resolving, is what I'm saying. So, like, if it gets Thought Seized or something, you can go nuts. Oh, got an opponent at last. We're going second. Our hand is utterly unplayable. And our mulligan is fine. I'm just going to put the Temporal Mastery back and hope to draw something like a 1-mana cantrip for turn 1. Hopefully Remand will find us our 3rd land and so on. How likely am I to need to bolt turn 1 against Polluted Delta? I'm going to operate under the assumption that there's an Emery in my near future and that I would like to kill. But this could easily be a control deck, and that, you know, they're not going to play any creatures, and that makes this a bad play. Is that a breeding pool? Sultai. This could be the Sultai Mystic Sanctuary deck. No, it's an Emery deck. Okay, well, I'm glad of my Lightning Bolt now. Sword of the Meek. Okay. Makes sense. Try and stop me drawing lands. Gonna run out a land and say go. Obviously, drawing that land was very useful, but I do not feel comfortable or safe yet. Yep. Exhaustion is less good than normal. It's good to draw another land. When your opponent has Mox Opal and a Planeswalker. Question is, do I cast it at all? No. I'm going to try to, I guess, use a bolt on whatever the Oko turns into a 3/3. Don't be Urza. That's Urza. This is bad. This is very bad. I suspect we're almost dead in the water. Main deck. That's very interesting. Very reasonable sequencing by opponent, because if they'd done that prior to casting another artifact, we'd have been able to kill the construct instead, which would have been better for us. That was very bad, because they knew about the whiteboarded one, and now they know I've got another one. Normally you want to cast Time Warps when you have a source of advantage in play, I believe, like a Planeswalker or a Howling Mine. And we don't yet have that. Don't be a sigh. It's just another, well, make another construct, basically. Okay. That's an annoying one because I don't get to concede. We have to keep playing it out, even though it feels like this game is already done. This is quite good because it means exhaustion will be good next turn. But they can just activate Urza in response. I think they can. Yeah, they've got loads of artifacts. And this isn't casting a spell, is it? So exhaustion's looking quite good. I don't think it's really worth me Giga Drowsing anything. Suppose I could have gone for the Mox Opal in the upkeep or something, but that's our last one. So we can't keep doing this forever. I like the guy in the picture's shoulder pads. They're very exotic. This outcome or whatever it's called, or whir. This might be a whir deck if they're playing things like Detention Sphere in the main. Okay, so that will get the combo, but they haven't really got any mana to do it with. Oh wait, yeah they do. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't consider that interaction. Good, isn't that fun? We probably want. How much do we do our own thing versus how much do we care about stopping them? I think Mystical Dispute seems fantastic. I think Surgical's probably good enough, as much as I hate the card. Take 2 copies. I guess I probably want a Braid as an upgrade to Lightning Bolt. I don't really know what I'm doing with this sideboarding, if you couldn't tell. It's just started raining really heavily. I was wondering what the noise and the sudden temperature change was all about. I would like to play first. I feel like if I'm going to get anywhere in this matchup, this is the type of hand I need. Although we didn't see any in game 1, I think we can reasonably assume they're an Emery deck, which makes Surgical a bit better because obviously they give you targets. Second remand is good. I'll remand anything more substantial than an Astrolabe, basically. Okay. They now know my next draw, which is more than I know. Land is lovely. Happy with that. I think I'm maybe... No. I was just going to say, I think I maybe meant to Exhaustion because it time walks them for a turn, but I don't have another land drop, so it is of no advantage to me. So I'm going to try to Mystical Dispute the Thopter Foundry, maybe Surgical them, or maybe I try to remand it again to draw another land. They appear to be stuck on lands. Or not. I'm going to remand it. I want another draw. problem is I don't know enough about how to play the deck. I haven't really researched it. So I'm firing this off because I'm assuming it will stop them from doing anything meaningful next turn outside of the Thopter Foundry, and we can Mystical Dispute that when they might think they're safe. Because they've got 2 mana here. That's what I'm hoping, is that they go for the Foundry, we Mystical Dispute, maybe Surgical Foundries, go from there, really. It's noteworthy that they've got more resources in hand than us, but not by a huge amount. Two trophies and 3 lands. That's not a very good hand. Two trophies, 3 lands. Got to try to remember that. I assume I'm meant to just start casting these. Although it's not at its most powerful here, is it? Don't think them gaining life's too much of a big deal. That ain't bad, is it? Put this back on top for next turn. Hopefully find a piece of interaction now. Not quite. So, I think I want to put this back first, and then bolt, and then I want to draw the bolt and then scry 2, setting up the Temporal Mastery. I think I want the land. Tough choice though. Draw a card, scry 2. So draw the Dictate, that's very good. Bottom. Don't think we want any more of that effect. And I have played land this turn, haven't I? So that's it. So the good news is we can now cast all of our spells, the most expensive being Temporal Mastery. I suppose there's the, what's it called, the Awaken part of Part the Water Veil, which costs approximately 1 million. And it isn't in my deck. I thought I'd put one in the deck. My bad. So I'm going to play the Dictate in my own upkeep. What are they going to name? Jace, I guess. Scalding Tarn. So their hand has got still 1 more land and 1 more trophy. At least we know what they've got. This will probably get trophied, but at least it's out their hand. Awkward. Yeah, just pass. There's nothing else to do. Search your library for an artifact, reveal it. Okay, let's see what they're getting. going to be hard for them to do. Yeah, that's fantastic. Like I say, it's going to be hard for them to do anything too exciting with the Thopter Foundry stripped, because most of their stuff they would want now is a creature or a planeswalker. Just trying to decide if I want to get anything with my... Yeah, that resolves. With my Mystic Sanctuary. This would probably be a good time for them to cast their trophy. They seem to agree. Yeah, I'll still take a land. No time warps. I guess it's just Serum Visions, which is a bit sad. Probably have to do better than that. He says like he knows what he's doing. That's better. Yeah, well, I don't think opponent's got a ton going on, and we get the first extra draw with the Dictate if I time it correctly, which I should. Opponent does have a ton going on, it turns out. That's sad, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, that can't be good. The joke's on you, opponent. You just shrunk your construct. Take the 5. Hope to get lucky. We need to chain some extra turns together, basically. Okay. Opt can't be too bad. Give me a Snapcaster Mage. We're in a what you might describe as a world of hurt now. We have to abrade the construct and go to some small amount, and then try again next turn. Three damage really isn't very good against an Urza and a Sai, is it? Maybe that's why everyone's playing so many Assassin's trophies at the moment. That would make sense. So they've left themselves with lethal for next turn, and that's probably going to be good enough. Oi oi, that's a good start. What's your problem, opponent? Okay, that seems to be resolving. So we get 2 more draws to try and keep going. Plus we get to start thinking about attacking down this Oko. Or not. This deck feels like it could use a 3rd Mystical Sanctuary to me. Although maybe I'm being results orientated, sat here with this land in my hand. What are they doing for 2? A sword. Just a fair sword to equip with, to equip stuff with. Oh, I shouldn't have F6. I have a thing. Okay. Trying to figure out if there's a way I don't die this turn. I mean, if they turn either of these into 3/3s, they will not be summoning sick, and I will lose. But I guess they don't know that. Yeah, that is 6 damages. I have 6 lives. Like, you know, 2/3 of a cat. Okay. Can't tell if this is BM or type play or both. But we've lost. They send everything, I will scoop. Okay. GG's. Let's try again. See if we can do any better when we're not playing against the de facto best deck, although that was a quirky version of it. I'm not sure if that version is better or worse than any of the others, but that wasn't like the typical Jeskai Ascendancy Emery version. It still felt strong. I don't know, I genuinely don't know what taking turns good matchups are. I'd imagine fair decks. I imagine you're pretty good against stuff like Jund, but stuff that doesn't kill you outright super fast. We're on the draw, we get to do the thing. How do you... I don't know how to take a pre-game action. I would like to. Nice. Boom. Well, you put one in the deck hoping this might happen. Oh, okay, that's right. I was worried it was going to be a map and then we wouldn't get to use our remand. Actually, remand could be hilarious if they need green mana for a scrying, if this is Greentron. And they use this to make green and then we remand and then they can't cast their scrying ever again. That could be glorious. Oh, go on. Cast a green spell. Maybe they're cycling again, looking for an Ancient Stirrings? No? Okay. Its miracle cost is 2, so the answer is yes, I would like to. Well, we've done our lucky things. We've got a true miracle and a luck counter. This is all pretty great. Did I just forget to play a land? I definitely did, and I would be casting Jace otherwise. What is happening? Got too excited. Made a huge punt. I'm going to die now. Ooh, no Tron. Going to Fate Seal them and put anything that isn't an Urza's Mine on the top. That can stay. And then hopefully next turn we get to Time Warp with a Jason play and start doing the things that the deck is meant to do. Wouldn't that be nice? Opponent playing around Remand magnificently. Balls. Just a casual 8 mana, no big deal. Okay. Don't minus on Jace, please. They minused on Jace. It's not very fair. Get a land out the deck. Probably did this wrong. Probably should have used Mystic Sanctuary on my next turn. Yeah, that was bad. Hopefully we'll draw a fetch and I don't get punished. Or a bolt. I'd love a bolt. Cryptic, eh? I think I just have to hold up Cryptic. If they do something, I'll go counter bounce. If they don't, I'll go bounce draw in the end step. I just don't really want them to Karn one of these two lands. That would be bad for me. I think this is fine. Not too scary so far. The thing with Tron is, like, probably 20% of their deck is terrifying, but 80% of it's terrible. Not sure if this is right. I don't think that matters. Gigadrowse is great, really good for their turn. Time Warp also seems good. I'd rather Time Warp. I'm starting to realise that maybe I should have known this all along, that Time Warp isn't very good unless you have stuff going on. I think I'm going to pass. Remand the Khan. Maybe I'll Gigadrowse some lands on their upkeep. That might be better. So if I do 3 copies, I'll tap them off of doing anything important and still be able to use Mikakoro. Is that right? So I think I want 2 additional ones. Yeah, I did that correctly. 1, 2, 3. So I think I've done that right. Sorry, I'm just getting used to casting this now. So opponent floats 8 colourless, which I assume will come to nothing. I'm guessing, so we know they've got the Khan in their hand. Okay, that's 6. 6 is less than 7. That's very good. Nice. Okay, I'm going to pass. I'm going to try to snap Cryptic the Khan when it eventually comes down. And then we can Time Warp when we're at least attacking for 2. So they've got exactly double Tron. They've got exactly 14 mana. I've got 6, 5, 6, 7. So I could Remand, Snap, Remand. Or I could just Snap Cryptic, which I think is what I'm going to do. This deck is hard to play. I will say that. Although part of it is that Gigadrowse is horrible on this interface. Thought about returning Snap to my hand and then thought better of it. I want to have some fresh cards. I want to try to find a Howling Mine or Dictate, or just more lands. Honestly, don't be scary. Don't be scary. Don't be scary. Just be scrying. Okay. They've got 6 mana. They can cast a Worm Coil. It's quite scary. What did they hit? I think they forgot to click, which is a shame for them. Good for me. So now I can activate Mikokoro as well as time warping, which is slightly suboptimal, but ooh. I've got that exactly enough mana to Serum Visions and then Temporal Mastery if I want or hold up the 2 counters. So let's Serum Visions first. This is good shit. I feel like we're doing the things that win the games. We get to take 2 more turns and we double our clock. Well, we get to take at least 2 more turns. Untap. Nice. Pretty much any spell that makes their life shit, I'm all about that. I assume that sews it up, because we can now go get Mystic Sanctuary, get back Time Warp, draw it. Right. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9. So I can Time Walk plus Cryptic. That resolves. Target me. Target Time Warp. Keep trying to win. We don't have a Cryptic anymore. Maybe that was a bit hasty of me. Dictate's really good. I'm going to hit them. We're going to remand any big plays they make. We're going to flash in a Dictate. Oh, hang on, this is even better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I make 6 copies. Blue, 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 blue. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. this is a lot of clicks. So hopefully that will tap all their lands. I have to say, this deck does feel powerful, and you do get to do an awful lot of the combo-y, masturbation-y stuff that that I normally miss out on by playing stupid cards like Thoughtseize and Tarmogoyf. I did some bad clicking there, didn't I? Left them with some mana. Don't really know how. Must have targeted the same ones multiple times. Still, you can't cast too much. We've got remands if we need them. Boomerang, that's nice. Yep, you can have that. Doesn't seem very important. Also doesn't seem important. Yep. Draw 2. Exhaustion's amazing. So we're drawing Bolt next turn. We've got Remand, which probably won't do anything, but their lands aren't untapping, so yeah, it's game. Fine. They seem to have forgotten I just topped a Bolt. There we go. Sweet. Well, turns out we have a good game one against medium to bad draws from Tron. Guess that counts for something. This sideboard looks totally horrible. I do not think I want more than the Abrades, maybe. Do I want Thing in the Ice? No. Try that. The good news is they don't interact in a way that makes our game plan hard to execute, which is nice. Just hand like... Oh! We get the luck counter again! This is nice. Can get used to drawing that every time. Oh, they've got their own luck counter. Swines. Let's see if they successfully resolve it this time. They do. Okay. I've heard mixed things about Once Upon a Time in Tron, but mostly bad. So we want at least one more land, top, and then we want Time Warp effects and cryptics and counterspells. Okay. Yeah, that was my turn 1, that's fine. I'm paranoid after game 1 about forgetting to play lands and getting stung, because that not having a Jace thing, that was lame. They're going about getting Tron the hard way. Lots of searching. Not just one map and you have it like normal. A Khan. Oh dear, that's a good one. And a map. So we know they've got it rolled up for next turn. Well, what do I want to do now? I'm going to hold up Snap, Opt and Remand depending on what happens. If they just have natural Tron and don't need this, then we might have to remand. Ooh, that seems weird. Maybe they've got a Nature's Claim and I'm about to get blown out, but let's try it. Draw an extra card. Gigadrowls. This stupid thing's coming in tapped. That's really annoying. So I've blown one of my lovely sanctuaries. Of course. Yeah. I'm not too sure. Okay, that makes it easier. Oof. They're going to minus on my dictate. They could just plus. If they plus, we've got 2 Gigadrowsers, and I don't think I even want 1 at the moment. Fair enough. Probably pretty bad for me. Oh my god, I just can't draw lands. Yeah, I can't cast anything meaningful. Let's just scoop that one up. Try again. So, do I need to worry about Veil of Summer? Do I need to have Spell Pierce for it? Do I need to... Probably do want the Bolt, don't I, for Planeswalkers? How's this hand? Dodgy. It probably is a keep. Could do with a remand or two. But being on the play is helpful. Opponent's got a tough mulligan decision from the looks of things. Oh, pardon me. I guess we bottom anything that isn't a land. This could be a lot worse. We're doing quite... Yeah, Cryptic's quite reassuring. Exhaustion is reassuring. What was the reveal? A tower. Okay. Yeah, leading on any land that isn't a Tron land is always very comforting. I don't know why they... Well, they obviously wanted to cast his Stirrings, but it seems like a huge cost because a turn 4 Tron on the draw isn't very good. This is where I lose hard to it, of course, but... The opponent appears to have taken some mulligans as well. Mopey Sanctuary again. If you hadn't guessed, I was looking for a untapped land for next turn so that I could save the Sanctuary for my turn 3, 4. We're going to Serum Visions. Just trying to dig as deep as possible to find more lands. Bottom that, top that, go. So the line of thought I have at the moment is that I don't need the Dictate because I have the Jace, and I just need to get myself to a position where I can start time walking with the Jace in play. Okay. I'm going to do it. As dumb as this might be, I'm going to go for it. High upside. So they know they can resolve whatever they need to. It's just a Khan, okay, thank God. See what they go for. Either way, I'm happy with the decision because I think we've basically got the game now. We just need to start finding time walks. We've got a million powerful cards in hand. They might go for something they could cast now, so I guess that would be a Tormod's Crypt. Shuts off my Mystic Sanctuary nonsense. They just went for the Lattice for next turn. put back 1, 2. I'm not going to get a Mystic Sanctuary because we don't need it. Go to exhaustion the opponent. Attack Khan. And then say go. That ain't bad. Target me. Blah, 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 blah. Get it back. Attack Khan. Khan dead. Now we're just looking for a way to speed up the clock. That can stay. Preposterous how good these draws have been. I'm going to snap exhaustion. I don't even need to snap exhaustion, they've already been exhausted. I can just serum again. We need to remember to actually do it, having given it flashback. Okay, go. And we should win from here. I can't imagine a world in which we don't. Man, this deck feels powerful when you're going off, even if you're going off incompetently. That is fine. This everything is going far too well. It's suspicious. Go. Could have just time warped again to kill them, but I thought letting them have a turn with no mana would be more cruel, and given that they are trying to cheat on mana, I thought it was a funny way to kill them. Huzzah, we win. Well, there we go. These are not exactly brisk games, are they? I imagine you have to play very quickly and cleanly if you are ever mad enough to sleeve this up in paper. Our opponent is rather presumptuous. How do they know we're their friend? It's got a luck counter, but it hasn't got a ton else. I think I can't keep it. This is a lot better looking, isn't it? What don't I want? Maybe the Bolt seems to be the worst card. In terms of my game plan, it doesn't, like, they might well just play a small creature and I feel like a dick. It looks like more Urza stuff, which means Rudy is not my friend. Are you, Rudy? Rudy does in fact suck. Obviously, I guess there could be girl Rudies, I don't know. He or she is somebody I've never met in my life, and I'm being rude to them over the internet, so maybe it's me that sucks. Nah, it's definitely the Urza player. Jeskai Ascendancy on its way. Sai, okay. Well, not okay. We saw in game 1 how bad we are at killing that stupid thing. I'm going to pass, untap. I'm going to cast Dictate in their end step. Oh no, they've triggered it. Ah, we can't win. One, two. Bolt. So I can Bolt, Snap, Bolt the Sai. I don't think I want to get my Mystic Sanctuary on yet. I can also no, I can't do any other nicer plays. Like I can't opt, snap and bolt. So do I want to do it now before they untap? Probably the answer is yes, but then if they have an Urza, I'd rather have Remand. I don't know. This game is hard. I'm going to leave Snap Remand up and go for Bolt, Snap, Bolt if they don't do anything else productive, I think. Just on those two. Doesn't seem too harmful. It's a big reload, I guess. Kill that thing. I guess we just have to pray that their last card isn't an Urza. Because all of this is, like, manageable. Those tokens are threatening-ish just because of the ascendancy, but I suppose a paradoxical outcome would be another scary card. We're about to draw 2. We might draw a time warp and then start to do things. Jace. I will Jace. I'll attack, see what they do. Hopefully they trade. They do not. Balancing that seems too shit because we'll lose Jace to 1 trigger. I don't know. So we've got Opt, which isn't too inspiring on its own. That ain't good. That was definitely Urza mana. We're done. This is horrible. The good news is we get to untap with Jace. No, we don't necessarily. I forgot about the untappy tappy. Cast with 0, yeah. It's so funny when the only zeros on the board are all on their side, but you know they have no intention of using the card the way it was designed. But don't worry, because we've got an Opt. This may look bad, but Opt will save us. Doesn't sound right. That might not actually be right. You know, I'm beginning to worry that might not be the case. Problem is I don't want to scoop, because if we don't die this turn, things are kind of lovely. And by lovely I mean we'd untap with a Dictate for sure and maybe a Jace. Seems unlikely to me that they can fizzle with, like, infinity mana and a load of cards in hand, but it's not out of the question that they just don't get to see another paradoxical outcome. I think if they do cast another one, it's probably time to scoop. They're seeing so many cards, they should be able to find another one. I'm firmly of the belief that several cards from here need banning. I think you need to ban Opal and Urza, but I don't I don't know when the next modern banned and restricted update is. I do know that playing against this isn't very fun, and isn't probably providing particularly good viewing either. So sorry if you're not entertained. If they get 2 more triggers on here, obviously that's just lethal as well, in the air, with no blockers, so... The opponent is very good about always floating mana that they're not going to need. I think that's quite impressively tight play. When I got to the point where I had 15 mana floating and nothing I did mattered because I just had to take game actions to win, I think I would be less tight. So we're dead to any non-creature spell. Yep. Emery isn't scary. They have to go again. Engineered. Okay, that's lethal. Right. Surgicals, yes. Angers. I don't know. Part of me feels like Thing in the Ice is just bound to be too slow. I don't actually think I want Angers because I don't think Abrade, sorry, because I don't think Artifact Destruction actually does very much against them. If you couldn't tell, by the way, I don't really know how to sideboard with this deck. That could all be wrong. I'm fairly sure the stuff I'm bringing in is fine, but I don't really know what to cut. I just sort of guess what might be too important. This hand kind of has the pieces. We need mana. Probably was the wrong fetch to lead on if I'm going to fetch a Steam Vents with this. Although I think the chances of me wanting basic mountain are close to 0. So we respond to the trigger. I don't think it matters actually. Either way, that thing's dead. Can't have them untapping with that. Don't mind them milling a Mystical Dispute, that can't be bad for me. Hopefully we draw a land. We do not. But it's a fairly easy decision to Serum first. Just want lands basically. Top. Now I have to decide how I feel about surgicaling Emery's, or do I wait for an Urza? I feel like if they'd milled an Urza, I'd just snap that off easily. Because I've got a Snapcaster, I'm going for it. Fate Stitcher, Stoic Rebuttal. Okay. Fate Stitcher, Jeskai Ascendancy, Stoic Rebuttal. Okay. So we need to keep in mind trying to play around Stoic Rebuttal. Don't really want them to have access to Stoke Rebuttal for my Dictate. So I'm going to snap Serum and try to set up more land drops. And worry about getting the Dictate down later. Yep. Can bolt the Fate Stitcher, which, if I remember rightly, is it a 2/2? I might check that. Fate Stitcher is a 1/2, so it does die to bolt, is what we've established. So we draw the bolt, we've got steam vents on top, and in my upkeep, so hopefully they cast Fate Stitcher. I know it's not really meant to be cast, is it? It's meant to be unearthed off of an emery mill or something. Do I go for this, knowing that I can resolve Time Warp? No. They're more of a sorcery speed deck than me, and I'm chipping away for 2, so my intention is to do the same as last turn, so to leave up access to Bolt plus Dictate and try and kill a thing, flash in Dictate, untap and Time Warp and be very far ahead. Remand is really good. Lets me go for Dictate with protection at the end of their turn. That's bold. Maybe their intention is to counter this. I think that's fine to just keep hitting and passing the turn. I feel like the emphasis is on them to go for something, because with the size of the opponent's hand, they're likely to end up discarding as well before we do. That seems fine. I really wish we'd hit more lands, that has to be said. Opponent's definitely caught up in the last few sequences just by hitting land drops, basically, is all it took. They have played land this turn, haven't they? So I think this is fine. Okay, it's a bit more scary now. Puts them up to 2 mana. Feels safe-ish. Wow, still no lands. Well, I'm going for this, and if I lose, I lose. Like, if they have another stoic rebuttal, we're in trouble. That didn't go well. The good news is they haven't shown us an Urza. The bad news is they have 6 cards in hand and loads of mana. Am I right in saying we're just 1 game down? I haven't really been paying attention. Oko? Mirrodin Besieged. Whenever you cast an artifact, make a token. At the beginning of your end step, draw and loot. Okay. I genuinely don't know which mode they'll pick, because either could kill us. Tough choice, it seems. How to kill me. Come on, opponent. Either way, I'm going to F6. Chose Mirren. Okay. Well, it's getting harder to win via Snapcaster beats, that's for sure. If we are to win, it will be by doing all the things. This ain't good, is it? This feels a lot like losing. I've seen turns decks playing white for Wraths and Paths instead of red for Bolts. And right now, that kind of feels like that would be better. but obviously it's partly due to this exact board state. You can't always just be making whole big deck building decisions based on one moment, but that seems like it might be good. Oh. Oh, I'm glad that's their last card. That's really good. That's really good. I'm, of course, bitter and unimpressed. Let's pack it up. We've seen enough. Cool, good. Well, we are 1 and 2, which I guess is par for the course. I'll be back in a moment. Hey, sorry about that, just popped out, although I, having apologised, now realise that on the video that won't show up, so you're probably wondering what all the fuss is about. So there we go, we've lost to Urza twice and beat Tron. And obviously Urza is basically excellent, strongest deck in the format, and is presumably not long for this world, so can't be too upset about losing to that twice. Hopefully we can get some good fun, a bit more interesting games towards the end. We haven't really had any interesting games yet. We've just had one-sided stuff, really. I do wonder if there's a ton of subtlety and nuance and stuff in this turns deck that I'm just not appreciating, and well, there probably is. I just can't currently think of any examples, but these are the limits of my mind. I'm not I'm not an exceptional player at all. Yay, won a die roll. Reasonable hand. Obviously we need lands, but Remand will help. I guess I really want to just see something like Noble Hierarch or Arbor Elf or something that we can use our Bolt and face. More importantly, I'd like to face a different matchup. Looks like I was asking a bit too much there. Fuck me. It really is a miserable thing to play against. Might not have been right to fetch there. Might have been better to keep lands in the deck. I can't think of anything else that would be using Mishra's Bauble. It's kind of been phased out of Death Shadow, and they would have shocked themselves if they were Death Shadow. Okay, we remand that, hoping that it's going to find us a land, which it does. There's a few sort of semi-awkward things going on at the moment, like Mystic Sanctuary will come in tapped, for example. Let's cast this. And we draw 2, hopefully including a land. That's good fun. So we missed a land, but we're sort of getting away with it because we got that Temporal Mastery. I guess the best possible would be that we hit land time warp now. Land? Time warp? Okay, not quite. I think I'm just going for it with Jace. Might have been correct to leave up a red land. Almost certainly was correct to leave up a red land. So we can hit a time warp next turn. Yeah, should have just left up red in case they play an Emery or something. What card do I want the least? Jace. This has been a reasonable performance from our deck. Our deck has done what it was supposed to. Now we just need to see if it's good enough on... Were we on the draw? We were on the play. This is looking very similar to the first configuration we played against. The version with Were and a few lock pieces. So I have to hope they don't have a Pithingly Long. Okay, I think Urza on its own we might be able to beat. Yeah, I will do it. I'll just float that Temporal Mastery there. And I probably should have tapped differently because I could have used the last of my mana for a bolt. Yeah, we'll float with that Temporal Mastery on the top of the deck. We'll try to hit a land, which we did. Bish, bosh. Okay, they don't care anymore. Good. Well, we were doing our thing quite effectively, so I still think we want Mystical Disputes. Still think we want Surgicals, and I still think we want Angers. And what did I cut? Yeah. Giga Drowse I still think is bad. And I still think Exhaustion is bad. Okay. Well, I'm glad we took game 1. It means when we inevitably lose game 2, I think I'm going to keep this hand on the draw. It's very, very strong, aside from the one land, and we've got Opt to get us there. Sorry, yeah. Do your thing, opponent. Let's see what they take. This is quite... I guess they take the Opt to try and mana screw me. Totally reasonable. So we shock to give ourselves the maximum chance of getting a useful Mystical Dispute or Bolt off. If it's an Emery, I would definitely go for the Bolt, because I would rather have the option to counter an Urza. It's a bit cleaner. trying to copy us. Yeah, I've got to use my mana at the moment. When you only got one land, you have to be kind of mana efficient. Please? Please? So we've got a mountain on top. I will try as hard as I possibly can not to crack this tarn. Sweet. So now we've got Snap Mystical Dispute, and they don't know about the Snap, or Remand, or Bolt. If we get to Snap Mystical Dispute and Urza, which is obviously something that I'm hoping could happen, then I think we're in really good shape. Because we can surgical them. And yeah, life's looking up. They're going for an Urza, looks like it. Tez. I feel like I've still got to make the play. How are they at 12? When did that happen? Oh, Thoughtseize and some Fetch and Shocks. I'm conscious that we might just be able to cheese them out with a couple of Snapcaster beats, a Remand or two, and a Bolt or two. That's fine. That doesn't seem to matter very much. They're a bit low on gas, it seems. Not unlike my pet cat, who is high on gas. Not as in, you know, hallucinating because of a narcotic gas. That came out wrong. I don't drug my pet unless he's at the vet's. As in, he does horrible, filthy cat farts, which unsurprisingly smell like cat food, but sort of amplified, and it's totally unpleasant. Okay, I guess they just named Jace. Or Scalding Tarn, maybe. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. Nice. Is that lethal? Yeah, that's lethal. If they don't have a counter. I'm going for it. We didn't come this far not to cast Time Warp. That's literally the point of this video. Okay. Now we have to hope and pray that I don't regret that. Okay, well that doesn't kill me. Is your last card anything, opponent? That implies that their last card is a fetch land. Woo! Woo! We took a match off the Nemesis. I mean, everybody seems to have realised that the Urza deck is kind of softish to counter spells. So maybe we're supposed to win, I don't know. Let's see if we can win our last round. Keep the 3-2 dream alive. Mulligan. Keep. As funny as I find boomeranging lands, it's probably still the worst card in the hand. Do we want to play blue-red aggro? I hate being in the proverbial dark. I'm going to put it on the top because it's so good with Snapcaster. We've got a hell of a clock if... Oh, it might actually be good. No, no! More of this bullshit. Oh, I do. Oh no, this could be like Jund Shadow. Yeah, it is. Okay, an actual deck I don't hate. Good. And now the 2 bolts is looking real smart because they don't know about them. And they are likely to reduce their own life total significantly. Hopefully we just see like tons of Street Wraiths and Thought Seizers without a care in the world. Oh. Okay. I'm going to play Nikokoro. I can see a scenario where I just want to draw a card. That's a good card. That was very lucky. Exhaustion isn't up to much right now, but Cryptic should be good. We've got... They're functionally on 8 with these 2 bolts. Make that less than 8. So they obviously didn't want to use that for the scry trick. So they're going to see what I'm about to draw. Shouldn't really affect things too much. So I could exhaustion them. Which is quite appealing. I wish I had enough mana to play the exhaustion and the dictate. I think I'm better off waiting, flashing in the dictate at the end of the turn. Or I guess in response to a discard spell or something. Fish. Inquisition. Let's do some bolting. I don't care about the exhaustion anymore. Draw 2. Okay, your turn, opponent. Sack the land, yep. I guess we have to hope that their hand is mostly hand attack and removal, and we've presented them with nothing to kill, and we've got an empty hand. Looks to be the case. Let's draw one. Not particularly exciting. Let's get that cryptic for next turn, because I can Mikokoro it if they do anything threatening and still have the mana to cast it. They've got 9 cards in hand, soon to be 10 if I Mikokoro. Might as well make them discard and us not. Hopefully they have to go to clean up and discard, yeah. So that's pretty great for us. They're on 4 now. I think I can kill them. And I just have to boomerang my own land. Play it. Don't get to play multiple lands in a turn, Chris. That's not how Magic the Gathering works. Fuck me. I cocked that up, but the opponent seemingly realised what I was planning on doing, couldn't kill me in the next turn, and knew they were dead. So that's nice of them. I'm going to operate under the assumption they're boarding out loads of removal, and I'm going to bring in the things, and I don't really care about anything else. So I'm assuming the things are like a replacement for Jace in this configuration as a win condition. Let's go for that. Might be that I need the spell piercers actually. Too late. Pardon me. I guess I'm willing to try this because presumably they have to commit pretty hard to dealing with the things in the ice when they've probably boarded out all their pushes. So they're doing the Bauble Scry trick. They've also mulliganed. Traverse, so they're just going to get a basic, I assume, a swamp. Yeah. 2 baubles. That is a sketchy 6. I don't like keeping mulligan hands like that. You're right. I'm just doing a video. Sorry about that. Just trying to make sure nobody bursts into the room while we're recording. Okay. Tarmogoyf's a pretty good one. It's hard to kill with the lightning bolts. Saves them from putting their life total too low as well. Still, a 0-4 is a good blocker. Not against a 4-5. Should be fine. I don't think that matters too much. We've got a fairly redundant hand. That makes sense. That was the most sort of unique effect we have. Pretty light on mana, which means I've got to decide between Remand versus Howling Mine for next turn. Sorry. Sorry about that. That was very unfortunate. As is all of this. This is also unfortunate. I think my best chance is to try to use the Remand. The problem is they know that. I think they know my whole hand at the moment, because we've had one draw step, which was that island. Come on, egad. Hurry up. Okay, we now really can't block. Except for... No, we're not blocking. Take 8. Or take up to 8, I should say. Take 9, in fact. Yeah, I think we're super dead. That might help. Probably not, but it might. We've got nothing to snap. I guess my plan at the moment is to play the snap to chump block the Death Shadow, but it's not a good plan. It's debatable if it even counts as a plan. We can't beat Team of Battle Rage. I don't know quite how I'm planning on escaping, but it involves flipping Thing in the Ice. They take my Remand, I guess. It's probably the least bad card. They took the other thing. I guess that makes sense, then they've definitely got lethal. Yep, and they didn't tap these because they know that this is 7 power and on 8 they're safe. The only way we win is like chaining cantrips, which we have failed to do. So, I do think I want Spell Pierce. Yeah, try that. That's a really good Thing in the Ice hand. So this is totally linear and does one thing. We have to hope they don't make us discard the thing and then we're done. Basically. If we get to keep the thing, look at this bloody hand. An opponent is fearlessly street wraithing. Here it comes. That's game. That's game. We're done. Okay, go ahead, opponent. This might take a similar shape to game 1 with the 2 bolts and the snap. We might be getting real frisky. I don't know what they take, but if it's not a bolt, they're gonna die. They took a bolt. Death Shadow? Yep. It's only a little baby 4/4, we can beat that. So yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm going to try to snap bolt in their end step. Hopefully they tap this. We're literally 1 point off of lethal, although they might have a removal, I guess. But we know they don't play counters, because, you know, these colours. Are they going to battle rage? Because if they do, it'll kill them. Yep, they've lost, I think. Do you think they might regret some of their decision making? Hooray! So we got a 3 and 2. Not bad, not bad. Considering I had no idea what I was doing. The deck seems to be quite hard to play. There's a lot of subtlety and nuance I'm probably missing. But it's pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I apologise for all the innumerable cock-ups, but it is not my normal style. And yeah, hopefully see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.